I think people think that a great business or a great property just happens because people are smart and in the right place. But it's not. It's because the things that slow almost everybody else down or stop them in their tracks are things that entrepreneurs are going to go around, right? Like Ryan Holiday says, the obstacle is the way. You got to have something in front of you trying to stop you so that you are propelled around it.
You know, everything that I've done, for some reason, I've got to do something that I think is going to change the world. And
that's a good thing.
Yeah, I've got to have these missions, and then I attract all of these other people that like the idea of that mission. And when you've got this group of people that are all rowing the same direction and stuff, things become so much easier, and it's so much more efficient, and it's exciting.
Yes.
Hi, I'm here at the Limitless Expo. It just wrapped up yesterday, but I'm fortunate enough to have Robert Helms, the host of the Real Estate Guys and a founding partner of The Collective, with me. And what we were talking about was just the state of the world events right now. What's your take on all this, Robert?
Yeah, it's so crazy. I mean, I see tremendous crisis in the world and concern, and I see tremendous opportunity. People are worried. They're worried about their future, about their safety, about their food supply, about their, basic rights. And at the same time, the markets are behaving very differently. Obviously, gold is up, and it's up a lot. And those of us that have gold are maybe excited about that. But at the same time, as we were talking, if gold is up, that means the dollar's down. Right. And our purchasing power is eroding. So I think what's most important in a time like this isn't to focus on the problem. Be aware of the problems and certainly study. And that's what I love when we get together, is we study and we think and we get different voices. But then you have to decide how to take action, because so many people want to put their head in the sand at a time like this, throw up their hands and say, woe is me. No, now's the time that you have to think and then take action.
Yeah, because there's actually more opportunity during times like this than there are in just normal times. And so it really is the time to think on your feet and sort of be prepared for things, and always never have a closed mind, to be willing to see when a door opens that you can step through.
Oh, I love that, right? Because you don't know. If you're too dogmatic about what you're trying to accomplish, then you shun out possibilities, and they're all over. Like the other night when we were at the party and we got to talking, and you said, well, let's sit down and have dinner together. That was awesome. It was a great chance for us to connect, have a conversation, and that wasn't something that was prearranged. It just, it worked out. And it's like that at this conference. So nearly 2,000 people here, 50 different sessions, some happening at the same time, so you couldn't hear everything. You gave a masterful talk, and I think introduced some new people to the ideas you've been sharing for all these years. And yet there was diverse ideas, and it wasn't all real estate, even though founders, Tarl and Ken, are real estate guys. And there's a lot of us real estate guys hanging around. They talk about all kinds of things, social media and marketing and farming and just a variety of perspectives. And that's what it takes. If you're going to sharpen your saw, you have to, as you say, be open. The mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open.
I've never heard that one before. It's great. So you're one of the founding partners of The Collective, and not a lot of people know what The Collective is. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this is a pretty neat thing, and we're excited about it. So Kenny McElroy and Jason Hartman and George Gammon, all good friends of ours, put together The Collective originally about 3 years ago. And then Russell Gray and I had our Inner Circle program, and Kenny called up about a year ago and said, hey, what do you think about merging these two groups together? Because we have a lot of similar interests, and we have a great group of folks, you have a great group of folks. And it took some time because they weren't exactly the same. Ours was basically real estate, but real estate syndication, folks that are raising capital to do bigger deals. That was our focus. And The Collective's focus was more business owners, entrepreneurs. And we recognized everyone who's a syndicator is a business owner and an entrepreneur, and we floated the idea by our members. They loved it. The guys floated it to their members. They loved it. So in January, we came together as the Collective Inner Circle. And it's a mastermind, a structured mastermind where we get together regularly. And in between, we spend time in large groups, subgroups, one-on-one with various members. And the premise is, when you're a successful business owner, you still face challenges and trouble. And who do you have to talk to? It's a kind of a lonely space. And yet our members in Collective Inner Circle have probably been through almost anything that any of us might go through. So that's the primary thing, is to get proximity to folks that are going places and doing the things and not just complaining about it. And so it's been an amazing few months. We had you come out in November when we were in the Bahamas. That was really a collective event where the Inner Circle was starting to get to know the collective members and vice versa. And then in January, we kicked it off together, and you just spoke for us prior to this event, which we sure appreciate. And that's really what getting together, great ideas, and talking about the macro picture, but then drilling down to the specific things people are having challenges with, whether it's employee challenge, learning how to scale, insurance, real estate specifics. You know, I'm stuck here in my project, and we do our best to get people stuck, which sounds counterintuitive, but if you can get them to the point where they get stuck, then the power of the group gets you unstuck, and now you're one level ahead.
Yeah, it's getting up to that next level that is so hard for most people. You know, Robert Kiyosaki used to say, you know, if you've got like you and your 4 best friends, there's 5 of you, you're this guy right in the middle. These people make less than you, these people make more than you, and sometimes though, you end up being this guy up on the top and you get stuck. You have to put yourself in a position where you've got people that are like thinking on a higher level than you and more successful than you. Otherwise, you just stagnate. And so, you know, I'm going to be joining the Collective Inner Circle now just because of that, you know, because I need people to push me a little bit further.
Well, and Robert Kiyosaki is a paid member of the collective, and it's amazing. You know, we all have been around him and his teaching and all of that, but he's at the same point. He's stuck in places in his business, and he's making some new decisions about where he wants to spend these next years, and we would often invite him as a guest, right? He's been on our Investor Summit at the Real Estate Guys for many years. He's come to at least half of the live collective meetings, but he said when he joined, I don't want to wait for an invitation. I want to make sure I come to all of these.
Excellent, yeah. And I want to do that same thing myself, because I've got some fairly large projects that I'm launching. You know, everything that I've done, for some reason, I've got to do something that I think is going to change the world. And
that's a good thing.
Yeah, I've got to have these missions, and then I attract all of these other people that like the idea of that mission. And when you've got this group of people that are all rowing the same direction and stuff, things become so much easier, and it's so much more efficient, and it's exciting.
And Mike, I think it's really important anytime. But sailing into the headwinds we may be facing, that's when you really need your foxhole buddies, right? You need to not just be taking it lightly, you need to be taking it seriously. And when you have a passion project, a mission, something you are excited about to make a dent in the world, you don't want to slow down, right? You want to go as fast as you can without flying off the rails.
Right. But you do need that team so that you don't burn yourself out. You can't do it alone.
Absolutely.
You know, Robert Kiyosaki used to say investing is a team sport, but so is business. And you know, anything large that you want to accomplish, it's so much faster and easier, and your chances of success are so much higher when you've got that team behind you.
100%. I mean, we're in a hotel that has 1,800 rooms. It's massive. There's not a single person who has been in every one of those rooms. And yet there was a team that had a vision for it and designed what they wanted to have out of it, and they put together all the resources and then overcame all kinds of obstacles and challenges. I think people think that a great business or a great property just happens because people are smart and in the right place. But it's not. It's because the things that slow almost everybody else down or stop them in their tracks are things that entrepreneurs are going to go around, right? Like Ryan Holiday says, the obstacle is the way. You got to have something in front of you trying to stop you so that you are propelled around it.
Hi, I just wanted to take a moment and thank you for subscribing and mention that if you'd like to help our channel, please consider my company, GoldSilver.com, the next time you buy precious metals. We're one of the most trusted names in the industry. Our prices are sharp, delivery is fast, and we have an insiders program where you find out exactly what I'm doing with my own investments. Thanks for making GoldSilver.com your dealer, and now back to the video.
Trying to stop you so that you are propelled around it.
Yeah. You are a truly great host and MC. I'm amazed. Like I just said, I'm amazed. You never say, there's no pause you don't have to think about something. It just flows out and you got this great voice and everything. So how do you do all of that and how do you manage? I mean, I've watched you now many times introducing guests and, basically running the show.
Yeah.
And so tell me, when you're on the spot and you're standing in front of all those people, what's your process? How does this just like flow constantly out of your mouth and sort of, you make it all sort of drip like honey?
Well, thank you for those kind words. A lot of practice, just doing it a bunch. And I used to, when I would start out, I'd want to understand as much as I could about whoever I was speaking to and whatever I wanted to say. When you get up there and speak, you're not thinking about it. You've designed your slides, you have an order you go in. Mm-hmm. But when you are the master of ceremonies or you're a moderator from a panel, a group of folks, many people will pre-write their questions, practice, rehearse. I don't do that. I trust myself that when I'm in the moment, the right thing will come. Robert Kiyosaki, through one of his mentors and teachers, Buckminster Fuller, taught us this idea of whatever you need will come always and just in time. Always and just in time, whether you need a partner, money, an idea, it'll come to you always and just in time. Now, I have a problem with the just in time part. Sometimes that's too late. But I know that if I'm in the moment and I'm paying attention, that I can take the conversation in a direction. Now, sometimes when I actually am the master of ceremonies, for instance, I do that for the New Orleans Investment Conference once a year, you've got logistics and housekeeping and all the things you need to talk about, introductions to people. Rather than read the introductions, I want to learn who they are, understand, and then try to put it in my own words, just like you did at the very start of this. You weren't looking down at a sheet of paper to talk about my background or any of that. We're just having a conversation. So I think people who want to speak need to learn to trust themselves. Now, we've seen 50 speakers this weekend,
yeah.
Some more polished than others. The ones that were the best were authentic. They were being who they were. They weren't trying to puff up. They weren't trying to be somebody else. One of the former Miss Texans was here, Miss Texas, Andrea, and she is just poised and articulate. But a big change she made in her life, she was a runner-up for many years before she won Miss Texas. And the year she won, she decided to throw away most of her coaching. They told her she was too East Texas, the way she spoke, and she was toning that down, and she threw all that out and said, I'm just going to be me. Mm-hmm. And that's who you see when you see her today, and she's just her, and that's all you need. So practice does help when you're nervous. Most people don't want to be in the front of the room. Most people don't want a microphone. Most people, when you say, would you like to sit down and talk on camera, they're flustered about it. But that's just because the mechanism is uncomfortable. Once you've done it a bunch, it just kind of becomes natural.
Yeah. You're a very successful real estate investor, and you were telling me about your hotel in Belize.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that at all?
Well, that's been fun. That's been a passion project for us. And I will tell you, it hasn't always gone well. We always say there are the Belize bumps. We take 3 steps forward and sometimes 2 steps back and sometimes 4 steps back. But we started off many years ago a little contrarian, trying to find places to go that were not undiscovered but less discovered. And we had done some developing in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, which we loved. Beautiful spot. We had a couple of beautiful sites. But it's a hard place to do business as someone who doesn't live in the country of Mexico full time. And let's face it, no matter what I do in Mexico, I'm going to be a gringo and viewed as a gringo. And that's not a bad thing, that's just a cultural thing. And once we had that success in Mexico, we started looking for where's the next for us? What's another place we could go that had all the right elements? And we spent about 2 years, my partner and I, looking around the globe and went to maybe 18, 20 countries, and we found the little country of Belize, less than 500,000 population, but it just had a bunch going for it. It was still early, it's third world, but it's close to the US. Closer to more people that live in the United States than Hawaii is. It's English as its primary language. The only country in Latin America that has English, not only English language, but British colonial law. So good property rights. And the temperate climate and the beauty and all those things. But we didn't land there and go, this is it. We were still searching and we were still looking, and I have holdings in a lot of different countries. But Belize has become a very special place. What we decided to build, what the market needed in Ambergris Caye, that's the big island of the 250 islands in Belize where the most tourists go, so the #1 tourist market. But what they needed was hotel rooms. They had a lot of condominiums. You know, you buy a 2-bathroom, 3-bedroom condominium with a big kitchen. Developers would sell that because that's what they could sell. Nobody wants to buy a vacation home that's just a hotel room. But what the market needed was hotel rooms. So we came up with this idea, and rather than import everything from around the world at high cost and long shipping, more than 90% of what we source is in the country of Belize. So we don't use concrete and steel to build, we use hardwoods that originate right in Belize. And it's been extraordinary. It was a fairly small project to start. Now it's the single biggest hotel by room count in the country. And it's a flagged product, meaning we have a brand which is Curio by Hilton. And we had never been in the hotel business. That's been a great learning escapade.
Wow.
But check us out at mahoganybayvillage.com if you want to see what the hotel's like. But it's
Mahogany
extraordinary.
Bay Village?
Mahogany Bay Village. The
.com.
resort is called Mahogany Bay Resort and Beach Club Curio by Hilton. But that's a long website, so mahoganybayvillage.com.
Excellent, yeah. I would like to, I want a lot of your advice on my project because I've got this 300-acre valley that I would like to turn
I am so
into a
excited
resort.
about that.
So,
I've had the chance
Yeah.
to see the videos and the aerials and all that, and it
Yeah.
sounds amazing.
yeah, I think it is, it will be. So how can people follow you? How can they get in touch with you?
Well, we do a podcast pretty much every week. You can find us at all your favorite podcast outlets or go to realestateguysradio.com. realestateguysradio.com. In addition to the radio show and podcast, we do events, 8 or 9 events a year. Not the speaking circuit or any of that, but we teach real estate syndication, how you can put together groups to buy bigger deals. I do a goal setting seminar at the beginning of every year, which you'll be invited to as a member of the Collective Inner Circle. We have field trips to markets and things like that, and our annual event, which is our Summit at Sea, our investor summit, a couple days in a hotel followed by a week on a cruise ship. This will be our 23rd year coming up in June of 2025. So you can check it all out at realestateguysradio.com.
Awesome. So getting together with other people that have different ideas than you do, but getting the advice, the support, and networking is one of the most important things when it comes to success in just about anything. When it comes to gold and silver, that can be Robert always said investing is a team sport, Robert Kiyosaki. And your team, if you're watching this, I'm part of your team. If you're interested in listening to the podcast with the real estate guys, then they become part of your team. If you're reading a book, that author is part of your team. So you just want as much information as you can get, and you want as many ideas that you can get, and then the support of a network of people. It's a really great thing. Robert, I really want to thank you for being here.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.